So Bradley came out and he stated that Usyk beat AJ 2020. They had the roundtable thing with ESPN and Andre Ward, and Andre Ward basically was saying 2020 AJ is going to fight the winner of Wilder and Tyson Fury. He's going to be an undisputed heavyweight champion. And then Bradley and another personality during the whole segment stated that Usyk is going to defeat AJ. So first of all, Professor Nin, you agree with that statement? Do you think Usyk presents any trouble for AJ? In my opinion, the way he looked his last fight against Witherspoon, a guy that's took a fight on a 1 week notice, if that, and was losing since 2012, and he got knocked out time and time again, and he struggled against that guy. He didn't really struggle, but he was getting caught by a lot of right hands. So we definitely know he ain't ready for a Wilder. But even AJ, like AJ, the way he performed against Ruiz in the rematch, people could say whatever they want because they give him a hard time for not fighting Wilder and not wanting to smoke with Wilder. But as far as his skill level, the man could fight, man. The man, let's not act like Usyk will defeat him. You know, Usyk is like a poor version of Lomachenko at the heavyweight division. However, he's not as elusive because they heavier set, and I don't know if he's as talented. But one thing for sure, he's the undisputed cruiserweight champion, or the former cruiserweight champion. But against AJ, a 6'6" foot fighter with 30 pounds, man, that's not an easy task. Like, I see him getting tattooed because Tony, you remember Tony, when they fought at the cruiserweight, he was outboxing this dude. And you think he gonna fight AJ and be able to come back? Hell no. Excuse my language, but I'm just saying, I don't see Usyk being AJ. I could see him giving AJ a little puzzle that he has to solve, and if he's not ready mentally like he was for Ruiz when he overlooked him, he could end up losing. But if he come prepared, man, that ain't gonna happen. And after the Ruiz experience, where I believe it taught AJ to realize, hey, I can't afford to slip up any time of the day, because all these heavyweights wanna they wanna get my spot, they wanna take my throne. So I have to be ready at all time. I feel like that's a lesson he learned. So I don't think he's going to make that mistake again. So what's your take on that? Because I have AJ either knocking out Usyk, welcoming him to the heavyweight division, or winning comfortably, very comfortably, as long he's prepared 100%. What's your take on that and what Timothy Bradley had to say?
Yeah, I think Timothy's kind of capping a bit, just kind of maybe stir up some. But Usyk has a lot of good qualities. I will say that. I think that he at least poses, I think I like your phrasing, he at least poses an interesting puzzle. Because one thing you got to understand is that when you're a heavyweight boxer, you don't face a lot of southpaws at all. In fact, Lennox Lewis went through his whole career without facing a southpaw. And he sparred with them, but he didn't. So just that, looking at that angle and having to deal with that, that's something that you do have to consider. He's pretty slick. I think he has really good feet. I think in the end that AJ's, not only his boxing acumen, but just his physical advantages that he has are going to overcome, and probably a late round stoppage. But I think it's an interesting fight. I don't think it's something that we should.
Is Teddy Atlas' influence on Bradley is getting to him too much? Because, man, he making comments like this, and you got to realize Usyk is Lomachenko's best friend. So I don't know, maybe he can fight, but
he's undefeated, and he's only one of two people.
I could fight. You could fight. You got two golden gloves.
But I wasn't undisputed in my division.
I'm just saying anybody could fight. I'm talking about in the heavyweight division. You need to have more qualities than you could fight, because it's just it's such a huge gap in weight. Like in the cruiserweight division, okay, there's a limit. You come at 200 pounds. Heavyweight, man, there's super heavyweights. You got to compete with that. Usyk is not ready for that. His skill is up there. I'm not questioning that. But his power, his speed is not up there. He's a combination puncher more so. His single punches don't do no damage like that. And you got to realize that he's going up against super heavyweights that could punch, that could also box, that probably is not as skilled as him. But the skill level is such a big gap in the weight that the skill won't matter. Skill pay the bills, but is he as skilled as Lomachenko? I don't think he is, especially not at the heavyweight division. He's not as mobile. So I don't think that, like, you know, his skills gonna separate himself between him and AJ, because even if we fight Wilder, he got way more skills than Wilder, doesn't he? But he will get slept.
Yeah, but I mean, Wilder might be the hardest puncher ever.
He is, yeah.
But at the same, I don't buy that much into the weight factor.
So what is it then?
AJ was at his lowest weight, I think, when he fought. Oh boy weights almost 307 pounds, and then Wilder.
Was fat, man.
His best fighting weight is around 220.
But that was fat. But I'm saying Wilder he's fighting at heavyweight. He used to heavyweights, and he have that power that it's an eraser. AJ, on the other hand, he's a big heavyweight. He has good skill, good power, good speed. Meanwhile, Usyk is not bringing a lot to the table.
He's southpaw. The only top southpaws that we know is Ortiz, who gives everybody trouble. And then Usyk. So you gotta, if you don't see that picture a lot, and then who moves like Usyk in the heavyweight division?
I feel like Ortiz sleeps Usyk.
Yeah, I mean, but you throwing a different. Let's just talk about Usyk and AJ.
That's how I feel. Like, I don't think Usyk is that good to be compared to an AJ or Wilder in the sense like, oh, he gonna upset them. I don't think he's that much of a threat. I feel like he's a mandatory. He's a bug in your ear that you got to squash if it gets in your way, like Wilder like to say. But I don't think he's like that big of a deal. However, AJ is talking about vacating a strap. We don't know if it's the Pulev strap or the Usyk strap, the WBO, the IBF. We don't know which one it is. Why you think he came out making them statements saying that he's going to do it for the greater good? Is you saying you're going to fight Wilder? Because if he fight Wilder and vacate the strap, we could care less. We know who the real champion is. It's still going to be considered undisputed. But I'm talking about, if you don't fight Wilder or the winner of Wilder versus Fury and you give up a strap, then how is it for the greater good?
Because, I mean, I think when you get to a certain point,